Welcome to our series on Windows Active Directory. Today I'm going to install Windows 2019. I will then promote it as a domain controller and I'll be doing it on Windows Workstation, as a VMware Workstation. There will be another lab where I do the same thing but for VirtualBox, because I know that a lot of people out there like VirtualBox, so I have another lab for that. But today we're going to do it on VMware. Okay, so what I've gone and done in VMware Workstation is I've created a folder called Active Directory. It's really easy. Right click and new folder, and you can create a new folder if you like. I'm going to delete that because I already have it. We'll go into Active Directory. Maybe right click there, or we can then maybe right click in here somewhere. Nope. Well, we'll just go File and New Virtual Machine. We'll create a new installation. I'm going to browse to my location here. Now I've moved this because I've created a new folder just for today's lab. Open. Awesome. Next. I've got a product key here because I have an educator license, so I can use a virtual machine for education and demonstrations. But if you don't have that, then you can just download a copy from Microsoft that has like an 180-day license or something like that. I'm just going to move this wizard out of the way because I'm not really supposed to show you that product key. But just what I'll be doing here is I'll be installing standard. Now don't select any of these other ones. You don't want the other editions, you want the standard edition. I'm just going to move that away as I put the code in there, and there was my name there. I'm just going to use Harry. Password is optional, but put it anyway. I'm going to just use a password one. It's capital P. Great, and here we go. So I'm going to call that Harry domain controller, DC domain controller. It's just something meaningful for me. You put that in a location wherever you want to. I suggest you put it in a USB drive if you have limited resources on your laptop. I have a Mac Mini, which is an amazing little machine, but it only has 250 gigs, and it's really causing me a lot of problems because I can't store a lot of information on it. And that's where Apple makes a lot of money, by upgrading you to things unnecessarily, I think. But I'm just going to go next because I have enough. This is downstairs on my Windows 10 machine in the lab. I've got a lab PC and it looks fine to me. Next, if you have enough RAM on your machine, on your host, if you've got say 16 or 32 gigs, push this up to 4. If you have a device that only has 8 gigs, leave it at the 2 gig mark. But I suggest maybe it's time to upgrade. If you're going to do a lot of labs, you'll need a bit more than 8. Finish, and then we'll go into the installation procedure. Depending on how fast your system, how much RAM you give it, how much CPU you assign, it could take 10 minutes, could take 20 minutes, could take 30. But usually, in my experience, it takes about 10 minutes, 15 minutes to install Active Directory, which is much better than the old days when it used to take hours. We had CDs and DVDs, and it was really slow. But this is a much simpler and quicker process. And it's just going through the startup phase. Throughout the installation process, I'll be pausing here and there. But in this lab as well, we'll be installing Windows 10, because Windows 10. Actually, I'll do a Windows 10 installation in the next video. We'll separate it a little bit easier. Okay, so that is on its way. I'm going to pause this video and let it complete its installation. Maybe 5-10 minutes, instead of making you getting bored with me talking. I'll just pause and come back in 10 minutes. Thank you. Won't be long. Just on a quick note, as the other installation is completing, and I'll come back in a second to complete the other one, but you might get a screen that looks like this. You want to click on desktop experience and not that one if you get a screen like this. So I'm just double checking the installation procedure. If you get a option like this, make sure desktop experience, and then can continue on next. And then, yeah, we'll be back and once this completes. And what will happen now is that it will go through a restart process a couple of times. And hopefully won't be too long, but we're almost there. We might even, I think it's such a quick process that I might not need to pause here. Hopefully. So almost there. Starting services. This is a very good sign. If you have any issues with this installation, just ask me in the comments. I'll see if I can find a way of helping you get out of that. But should be a relatively smooth process. Just waiting a little bit longer. Actually, I might pause. This might be taking a bit longer than I thought. Be back in a second. Okay, and here we are. So now we've got a successful installation of Windows 2019. In the next video, or one of the next videos, we're going to install Active Directory and promote it as a domain controller. So in the upcoming videos, we're going to do the same thing, but on VirtualBox. Then we are going to install Active Directory, promote them to domain controllers, and then we'll have a Windows 10 installation, and we'll have all this networking domain activities. It'll be fun. So stick around. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode.